WLFE-DB Radio is on Spotify with all its great shows like Across the Pond, Inside the Drag Closet, Step into the Paranormal, Just Cindy, Where's My Sage, Unfiltered Talks with Bryce, Metal Mayhem ROC, Paratalkradio, Real Talk with Dom, and more. So download the Spotify app today to stay connected to all your WLFE-DB radio shows.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam! There you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
A small hollow in North Carolina. There have been several Bigfoot sightings.
Hunters may need to be on the lookout for something other than deer when they hit the woods this week.
He hadn't been spotted recently, but according to these pictures, the legendary Mothman is back.
The number of UFO sightings is soaring tenfold over the past 25 years.
Now, she's not talking about people. She is talking about ghosts hanging around what some say is a real-life haunted house.
You're listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family. Paratalk Radio is your one stop for all things paranormal, the unknown, and the supernatural. Join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for discussions and guests on topics such as ghosts, hauntings, Bigfoot, UFOs, and more. This broadcast is rated M for mature and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, live from J-Wolf Production Studio in Ontario, New York, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Hi, everybody!
Man.
Oh. I was like, wow, that was just me.
Had it backwards. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, production's not easy sometimes, you know?
Right. No.
Especially live. Especially live. It's crazy. All right, so
Poo-Poo.
How are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
Good. I can hear myself through you, though.
What do you mean?
I can hear myself. That's
I don't know
weird.
why. I don't have anything else on other than...
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let her go for now. Over on, I don't even know what page this is. Bob Burnell's over there, and so is Barry Marks. But
Bob, hi, Barry. Hi,
I see them here as well.
Hi, Brett. Hi, Carters. How's everybody doing tonight?
Mr. Brett Slack, Mr. UK. Well, no, yes, Mr. UK himself, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so listen, I am cooking, and my dinner did not get done when I wanted it.
What are you cooking?
Pot roast in this slow cooker.
I don't know. I'm not a big pot roast person, but food is food. I'm a fat boy, so I like to eat.
It's really good. It's not like gravy. It's like more like an au jus right at the moment.
Isn't that a funny word? Au jus.
It is.
It's kind of like you're sneezing. It's like Gesundheit, you know.
Right.
Mr. Robert White. You see that? Mr. Robert White from Australia is here.
Yes, it's
Mr. Robert White
in the morning for him. Hi, Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett. And I made listen, I did not make homemade biscuits, but I did the Pillsbury that you can throw in the oven biscuits and they can get delicious.
Well, I won't tell you what I had for dinner.
What did you have for dinner?
I told you I wasn't going to tell you.
But I don't care. You're telling me.
All right, I had pulled pork tonight. I had pulled pork and a nice honey barbecue sauce. Yep,
I don't
did
like
that this
barbecue
evening.
sauce, but I do like some good pulled pork.
Yep.
So I
yep.
just do it. We just do it plain here. Like
Yeah.
I use spices and obviously stuff like
Right.
that, and I just
Well,
don't use. I don't make
gone,
it sweet or.
I've gone to some of
barbecue.
those big barbecues where they do like they have like 5 or 6 different cookers, and then everybody does something, and like they always have the
Ooh.
sauces like in the little squeeze thingies.
Oh yes, yes, you
So
can
you
add it
can
yourself.
put whatever you want on
Oh,
it.
see,
They
that's a
had
great idea because so it would be plain for me, and then you could just add the
Mr. Chris
barbecue
Sanders. You see that? He's
Oh,
popping in down there.
Chris, how are you, honey?
Can't wait for Parafest to see people like this.
I am so excited for our paranormal shows to start. Like,
Oh my God, the events are going to be crazy. So guys, real quick, this is
yes,
the logo for the 2022 Parafest, and it's going to be in Geneseo, New York.
I love that so much, Teddy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. It's going to be the same location it was before. It's going to be March 2022. It's going to be March 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Yes.
So, and we've already got Trent Nielsen booked. We have Melanie Roshauer booked.
Yay, Melanie!
Chris Sanders will be there. So will Danny Class.
Yes.
There's a lot of people will be.
And I know we'll have Barry Marks there.
Yeah.
Tim should be there too, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to be there, Tim?
Should be. We actually have we had a contest. We had a contest and on the WLFE group page, and we actually had a winner, and her name is Carrie Conley, and she's going to be joining us here. She is going to be our guest co-host. This is her first time doing something like that, so we're excited to have her with us. William Tabone from the Australian Paranormal Society is already in the background.
That's so funny. We both touched our noses at the same exact time, like it was timed or something. That was so weird. I was checking to see if that's weird. See my silver booger, which is just my nose.
Really? Of all things to talk about, you want to talk about boogers? Nice.
Feel it sometimes, and so I thought it was down there. Look I did my eyelashes.
Lashes, that's nice.
I did them yesterday while I was at breakfast.
Nice.
I did them
Carrie, I don't know if you can hear me, but I see that your devices are not connected. So your mic and cam are not connected. So you need to make sure that you connect those, please, before we can put you in here.
See, now I just...
No, see, nose ring. That'll do it to you each time.
Yeah, I have to move now because I just pulled it.
I'm excited about tonight, not only because, we have friends over in Australia, like
yes, we
Robert.
do.
Australia is one of those places that I've always wanted to go and visit. And
Excuse me 1 minute. Do you hear the timer?
Yeah, I hear it. Well, you do that while I read. How about that?
Perfect.
It was like beep, 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 beep. Like, hurry up, beep, 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 beep.
Ah!
So, all right. So, Carrie, it still says device is not connected. So I'll let you work on that. I've got to read the bio here that I have for Mr. Bill Tabone anyways. I hope I'm saying that right. He is my husband. He is a husband and a father of 5. He is also the co-founder, along with his wife, of the Australian Paranormal Society and one of the founders of the Worlds Beyond TV, among other things. He says, I have been a paranormal researcher for over 34 years, conducting my first investigation when I was 19, and he hasn't looked back. He's close to me. Mine's 37. He's doing real good. My interest in the paranormal began before I can remember. As a youngster, I would read and watch everything I could get my hands on. And that, you know what? It's exactly what I did too. Everything from In Search Of to, finding books in the library, magazines, whatever you could find, anything that had ghosts or, creatures or whatever. That's what I did. So I understand where he's coming from there. I have studied parapsychology, demonology, psychological first aid, and much more. Teddy wears glasses. I believe you should never stop learning. what do we always say here, folks, on Paratalk Radio? Never stop learning. You always have the opportunity to learn more. And once you think you know it all, you just don't. Let's see. My wife, Amanda, is a medium, sensitive, and our children have inherited their mother's abilities. That's not uncommon. We hear that a lot. They are all part of our team, except our youngest, as he's too young at the moment, but he can't wait to get out there. I wish, that's the only time I wish I had kids so that I could do this, Let's see. Amanda is an author, with her first book being From the Mind of a Medium, Volume 1. Very cool. We have a fantastic team made up of tech people and medium sensitives, and that works really well. We also have some fantastic associations with people and teams across the globe. I have been blessed to be able to investigate across the globe with some absolutely amazing people, especially in the U.S. and the U.K., spending time at amazing locations such as Gettysburg, Alcatraz, the Alamo, and many more amazing places. Well, we've been to 2 of those. Well, I have. We believe in educating the public. We do this through seminars, lectures, public investigation tours, and spreading the word through the media. Having appeared in many newspapers, magazines, and books, as well as many radio and television shows. Our team is always open to talk with anyone in the field and to offer help and guidance to new people in the field. So please feel free to drop us a message and say hi. And that's that's the Australian Paranormal Society. I have the links for you. So we will get out of that and go back over. So I heard the beeping. My
biscuits are done. My dinner is not. I've been in for 4 hours now. More than 4 hours, I feel. Whatever. The kids are just starving. It's fine. The children will be fine. Poor kids are starving to death.
Yeah. So Carrie's having an issue, so I'm gonna see if she just wants to use her phone instead of a computer, because that will work just as well. Mm-hmm. So
you're done, but the gravy needs to thicken.
That's nice.
The meat needs to be more tender, I feel.
There you go. So this is going to be awesome for us, because we don't get to talk with people over, across the pond very often, right. And especially about paranormal and what's happening, how things are going over there, and what they might do a little different from us. But we know as a fact that, just what I read, they're pretty much just like we are. They're very, sound like very down to earth people, and they're really good about education and all that stuff as well. So, without further ado, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I'm going to have to go back out there in a few minutes, though.
That's okay. That's all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. William Tabone to the show.
Hello.
Hello, people. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. We got you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, we're really excited about you being here.
Awesome.
So tell us exactly where you're located.
Okay. I'm located in Victoria, which is a state of Australia, in a suburb called Pakenham, which is sort of heading out towards an area called Gippsland, which is an absolutely beautiful area. So lovely. Yeah.
Listen, Australia is one of the places that I want to visit. And Robert, our Australian, on hand, he says, "Hi, Bill.
How are you, mate?"
Yeah.
Everybody's saying hi, William. The Carters, Robin Joan Carter, say hello, and Barry Mart, say hello, William.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Well, at least you are in Australia, where it's in the morning, as opposed to if we were going to go to the UK, it would be like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. These time differences, amazing, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Bloody Ripper.
Bloody Ripper, mate.
What does that mean?
It means really good.
Oh, got
really
it.
good. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Hello, Julian.
Jillian the Thrillian.
Yeah, that's right. So, I one of the things that when I was reading your bio and I kind of looked, I stalked you a little bit, as Cindy says. We like stalking our guests. You guys do well on your education bit. You guys really do like to reach out to people and network, which is something that's not done very often by many teams, because the majority of them, especially in the U.S., are very closed-minded, very closed off, and the politics, and they don't want to reach out to other teams. Very rarely do they.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's everywhere, really. To be honest, we have similar here. There's the politics. There's the infighting. It's no worries. It's absolutely, it's crazy, man. Like I always say, if we lift everyone, we lift ourselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, by lifting everyone, we lift the field. So there's I don't see a problem with working with other teams or sharing with other teams. And I don't see the need to sort of hide and try to bring others down. That's really I can't understand that. But I think it's everywhere, mate. I've seen the same thing everywhere. So
it's just, it gets frustrating. I mean, we have like certain groups that we work with here. I mean, we always have open arms for anybody and everybody, but there's always those people that they feel like it's a race. Like, they have to be the first one to do this or the first one to do that. And it's like, it's not about that. I mean, if we're in the same quote unquote field, we're all trying to get the same results and get to the same conclusion. So wouldn't it behoove us to work together?
I absolutely agree with you, mate. Absolutely agree. As I said, the thing is, by lifting everyone, we're lifting ourselves, we're lifting the others, we're lifting the field. Our research, this guy might have something that will complement this. If we put them together, then we might come up with something even better.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, but it's not even just I know that the paranormal field kind of, to us anyways, to paranormal investigators, paranormal engulfs everything that's, unknown or mystery or whatever.
Of
but
course.
It's not that way here. The separation of cryptozoology or, Bigfoot and monsters, ufology, and they separate it all, and they don't like it. I mean, they get. Oh,
I know.
It's like, come on, guys! Like, what the hell is the difference?
It's like different clans, isn't it? It's crazy. I mean, we have our separate groups here, but I have good friends in ufology. I have good friends that are in cryptozoology. And
Sorry,
bit warm.
No, my cat is batting at me because he wants my food.
Oh, you gotta love cats. But yeah, they are. They're all the unknown. They're all working together. And in some cases, there's that relationship between them as well.
Right.
So
right. You know what? I like this, and we talk about it all the time. In fact, Cindy has it tattooed on her wrist. The egos need to go away.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hashtag GTF.
Very cool.
Get the fuck out of ego.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they have to. I mean, it's not about who crosses the line first. It's about coming to a common ground and finding this together, because I truly believe, and I've said this a million times, I mean, we're celebrating 5.5 years here at Paratalk Radio.
Yeah. Awesome.
And we've always, thank you. And we've always said that every person comes to the table with something. They have a piece of something that can help. And, if we were all to lay our pieces on the table, we might just have a pretty good sized puzzle,
For sure.
But something we can work together on and make, some sense of.
Exactly. And, it makes you more, it possibly could make you more credible to the general public as well. You know what I mean? It's one of those, when they see the infighting and they see all this nastiness, it comes out, and people see that, and it's not good. It pulls everyone down, and
exactly
we need to build our credibility in the general public as well. It opens
I
us
think
up
what
for
happens, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I think happens is is, eventually the general public is going to see what's going on behind the scenes, and it's just going to shut everything down.
Well, they do. They do.
And
yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, Cindy and I just did an investigation this past weekend. We went over with a friend that was in another team, and he joined us, and we went over and we just helped each other out, which was fun. It was a good little getaway for the day, and but that's the way it should be.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen public sites that allow investigations close down or stop investigations because of infighting between groups. And that's a great loss. I mean, that's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Ted, put the last one up. It's so cute.
Yeah. I see that. I just got harassed. little bit says, Ted, kissy, kissy, you've been harassed. Okay, I'll take it.
Awesome.
I'll take it.
Very cool. That's cool.
I'll take it. Robert White says from Australia, it's a deterrent seeing all the fighting between teams.
It is. You're right.
Exactly. And it's not good for the whole field, the whole reputation of the field. We just need to. If you don't like someone, you don't have to work with them. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
there's no need for this nasty attacks and
Yeah. I mean,
crap that goes on.
I think we're up to across the world, if I remember correctly, somewhere between 42 and 50,000 paranormal teams now across the world.
It's
That's
huge.
amazing.
Yeah. It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And, these people that have all these, and I laugh, and I'm sorry, but I laugh at all these people that make all these gadgets, all these like trinkets and toys that, beep and have, all that stuff. And
the flashing
really
lights and the beeps.
Which really doesn't do anything for you, and they spend all this money on it. But, it's like, how much money do they make? Oh, my God.
For sure. It's huge amounts of dollars. I mean, I was talking somewhere just the other day. I mean, myself now, all I take a voice recorder and a camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just for my own investigations, I don't use all the gadgets. We'll use them on the public investigations. Because people like things that go bing and bang and light up. But for us, for myself, I use a voice recorder and a camera.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
But what's the name of that book? That book?
Flashlight, recorder, and comfortable shoes.
Well,
that's it.
Exactly.
That's the book. Yep, that's the book. Thanks,
That's your
Cindy.
book, buddy.
Yeah, that's my book. Thank you.
That's a good book.
Yes.
Very cool. Very
And
cool.
the other one is Step Out of the Paranormal Box, Teddy, just in case you forgot that one too.
Yeah. I just, I use some catchy names because you don't, and the whole premise behind it was you don't need all this crap. You really don't.
You don't. 100%. 100% agree. 100% agree.
So,
you go full circle. When you start, you have all the lights and the bings and the bangs and the gadgets and things, and eventually you realize they're just something. I love Monty Python. Robert.
There you go.
Monty Python.
Great
I love Monty
comment,
Python.
Robert. Great comment, Robert.
He's been a very naughty boy. Anyway,
Bob says here, let's see. He says, agree with you, Ted. It is a crying shame all the trinkets being sold under the guise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, Bob. Yes, Bob.
Yeah. I mean, Cindy and I have this. I have this personal. Oh, whoop! We got her finally. Our guest co-host is here. All right,
Yay,
so we got her.
Hi, Carrie. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello,
I'm
Carrie.
so sorry. I'm learning technology.
You're doing a great job, honey. Don't worry about it.
Somehow
cool.
my app was blocked to allow use of my microphone. So
I
figured it out.
I'm glad you figured it out.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for joining us. There's Mr. Bill right there, or William. Which one do you prefer?
Carrie. Bill's fine.
Bill's fine. Okay.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yes,
I usually get William when I'm in trouble.
that radio box. Steve says that radio box. Yes.
I was going to bring that up, and then Carrie popped in, which was great. But yeah, the biggest. There's two right now that are on my list of if they were sitting in front. I don't know if you guys remember Gallagher. He would get this big
Oh,
like, just smash like watermelons and stuff.
Yeah, sledgehammer. Yeah.
That's what I'd like to do to the ghost box and the SLS camera and
the SLS. Yeah. It's yeah. That's
terrible,
crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Oh, I understand. Don't worry. I understand.
All right, so let's see here. Cassie Hunter. Hello, Cassie, and thank you for joining. I don't really investigate anymore, but I've always been so sensitive to everything. I don't need all the fancy gadgets.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing is you use your body. Like, you can feel so much.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter if you're intuitive or not. Like, you just can feel pressure changes. You can feel cold or heat, or your body starts getting prickly skinned, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you, can I tell you?
Yes,
I was going to say, I'll tell you a great story. I had a group of investigators from another team with me on one of the public tours I run. And I had a couple of my guys, and we were at an asylum, which is out here in Ararat, called Aradale. And they all had these gadgets, and they're looking at these gadgets, and I said, right, stop. We're in the one of the female wards, and I said, stop. Put your gadgets away. All right, just stand here, and I want you to just listen, feel, see, whatever you can. And I had my back to some windows. I had about 6 people standing in front of me. There's a couple of people off to the side, and I see these guys, and they all sort of their mouths go like this. I could see. And I said, well, what's going on? Right behind me, walking across, they saw an apparition of a female in a hospital gown. Right?
I just got
across 3 windows. All I wanted them to do was put the equipment away and just feel the atmosphere and the environment.
Yeah.
But this happened. The timing was just absolutely perfect, and that's one of my favorite stories.
That's
that we've
fantastic.
had. Yeah.
What an amazing, like, had you not told them at that moment to put it away, would they have even caught that?
Probably not, because they were all looking at Malmeters and whatever else they had.
And their whatever, all their little gadgets and
yes, they were looking for flashing lights instead of they would have missed the apparition.
Exactly.
And I didn't see it, but I wish I had. But one of these people that saw it was one of my sons. And so it happened. I know it happened. You know what I mean? And all the same, exactly the same. Their faces just changed completely. It was just brilliant. Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. And now that Carrie's here with us as well. So you've got 35 years into investigating.
Good job,
Thank you.
So let's start off. So did you have an experience? Is that what brought you to becoming a paranormal investigator?
I, as I said, I think in the bio, I said I had since I can remember. I can't remember where it started. I just had this fascination with all things unusual. Ghosts, monsters, spirits, vampires, whatever I could get my hands on. Like you said yourself, sightings and was it unsolved mystery? Whatever. There was a whole lot of
there was in search of unsolved mysteries.
In search of exactly.
Yeah.
We'd watch all them. I'd read everything I'd get my hands on. Always had that interest, and then I remember it was actually January, because my birthday's in January. It was just as I just turned, so it was the end of January, and I said we got to go. I want to do something. I wanted to try to do something, and I had no clue what I was doing. It was all fumbling around. So we had this video camera. So braid the beard. So we had this, video camera, an old one, it was state of the art at the time, but it was, a big camera like this. It had a cord running to a box, which took a full size VHS tape.
Oh my God! Yes, I remember.
Hang it on here. We had that, and I had some sort of recording device. I think it might have been a tape. I've still got reel-to-reel recorders here that we've experimented with. But we fumbled around for an hour or two in a cemetery, myself and a couple of people I knew, and it was a bit of a disaster. It was like, the camera was not infrared, obviously, so there was a lot of black screen.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
that was my first investigation, and that was the beginning of it all. That was the catalyst to keep going, and then. You speak to people, you ask, you send letters off, you get some replies, you don't get some replies. It's just trying to build your knowledge and your understanding of what's going on.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so no real experience, but just this drive or this fascination.
See, mine was an experience. I mean, but I've always loved all that stuff too. I mean, behind me is I have a huge collection of Godzilla. I'm a big Godzilla fan.
Oh yeah.
So, but I've always been into monsters and vampires and ghosts and all that stuff. So, but I had an experience, and that's what threw me into it, and I couldn't let it go. I just got it's kind of like having. I don't know, OCD. It's like I just can't put it down, you know?
You got to. Understand. You got to learn. You got to chase that. It's like when if you're following something, and it's just around the corner all the time.
Yeah,
just around the corner. You got to try. You got to go around that corner. Yeah,
and hopefully one of these days we run smack into it. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, absolutely, my friend. It's. I always say one of the things I say about paranormal is, they say there's, paranormal experts, there's paranormal this. I don't like the word expert, but I always say we're explorers because
paranormal explorers is nice. That's a good title. I like that.
I like that. We're pushing these boundaries. I'm trying to push these boundaries to try to make better contact, whether it be with spirits or trying to find, that evidence of some sort of crypto or UFOs or whatever. We're exploring. We're trying to push those boundaries, and that's, to me, that's exciting. You know what I mean? That's what keeps driving me. Yeah.
Right. Kiri, did you have any questions yet?
I had a couple. You stole my first one, but that's okay.
Well, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. What would you how do you deal with others' views on what you do? Those like naysayers. How do you respond to them?
I love them. I love these people because they keep us real, because then we've got to really make sure that what we do is the best we can do. You know what I mean? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's like like religion or whatever. You can't. People will have their views. They can't push them on me if I don't want them to push on me. You know what I mean? If you don't believe, fantastic. As I said, it makes us work harder to try to find evidence of what's out there. But I've been really lucky. I haven't had a lot of experiences where people have just bagged means put down what we do. So most people are quite interested once they find out you're a paranormal investigator or you do that sort of stuff. They want to talk to you. They want to ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because here in the States, I mean, I don't get a lot of that either. But when you're younger, I mean, it took forever for us to even be able to mention the words like we were into the paranormal or all that stuff, because the church and everything, just like you need to,
leave it alone.
I mean, you got to leave it alone. You're getting yourself into hot water. You're dealing with demons. You're doing this, you're doing that. And then you get the other people on that are saying, oh, it's all garbage. It doesn't exist. And it's like, finally, you just say, like for me, it's like, the toaster you use, right? And they're like, yeah. I go, well, that toaster had to be discovered and imagined and created at some point.
Exactly.
Right.
So that takes somebody to explore that. It takes somebody to realize that and come together and try to create stuff such as that. And that's the same as discovering all the new animals and the fish that we have. And, when they first came to America or, wherever, it's like, it's exploring. And if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? I mean, I'm sure somebody will, but we have the drive and the will. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, I was the same. I used to hide what we did or what I did. Not mentioning it to people. But now I'm open with it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, great. You have your own beliefs, and that's the way we work. So yeah.
Yes.
Hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you. I also have another question. So I'm a Reiki master. So I am, I'm a Reiki practitioner and stuff. And I had a client come to me a little while ago and had said that she feels that there's activity in her house. And, she was saying that, she's getting bit by animals. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of anger, between family members and things. And she definitely notices a change when she's in this house compared to being anywhere else. What would you suggest, like, where would you suggest that she go first for assistance? Because I said, that's kind of out of my, league. But what would you, is there self
Sorry, you broke up a bit there at the end,
help
but
with that, or?
yeah, what I would do is I would definitely have a chat to her first. I would assess what she's going through, conduct an interview of sorts, if that makes sense. Assess. We look at, and I suppose you guys too. On my bio, it said we do a course called Psychological First Aid, which allows us to identify different psychological disorders as well. So we try to see if, and we can't diagnose, we can't recommend treatments and such, but it allows us to make an assessment for ourselves. So we look at if we believe if there's any sort of psychological issues there, we'll talk about what's going on. I've had cases where there's domestic violence, and that's causing a lot of issues. It's a very big picture that we need to do, but first I would track her and assess the situation. Then I would make a recommendation whether, one, you need to speak to a social worker possibly, or two, you might need some spiritual help, whether it be a priest or myself or a team. So after chatting to someone, we would definitely sorry, something's just popped up on my screen. We would definitely, we would definitely assess the situation and then make a call from there. There's no one set rule we can go by. Yeah, every case is different.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's the same thing here. It's like we usually the phone calls come in for us. We actually do have a number that's out there in the public as well as our website, and basically they contact us and they ask us. They pretty much tell us what's going on, and then we basically have like it's kind of like an assessment chart or a check off. You check it off, and so on and so forth down the line, and you do have to find out if there's any physical stuff happening, psychological stuff happening. What about medical history, and exactly. what kind of if they have any disabilities, anything that could cause it, whether schizophrenia or whichever. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we go over before we even try to reach out. Or back out for the second time, because we have to make sure. Now, with us, with GVPI, we also have what we call a pre-investigation person. And what that person does is they go out and they interview the person, and they walk through the home, and they actually, give us their opinion of the situation before we actually take out the team. And what really helps us out is he's 33 years in as a private not a private investigator, as a New York State trooper, but he was a detective. So he knows how to read people, their faces, their body language, stuff like that. So we're lucky to have somebody like that, that's great. And but so that there are processes that we have to do. But that person that you're talking about, I would definitely ask her to reach out to a paranormal team if she can. They're usually, if you go right on the internet, wherever you are, where are you, Carrie? I forgot where you are.
I live in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah.
Right. I'm actually not far from Gettysburg.
Oh man. Well then,
45 minutes. So
I would suggest Paranormal Inc. If you look at
I'm
them,
sorry. Could you say that again?
Paranormal Inc.
Okay.
I would suggest them. That's Dave and Ernie, two of the best guys I know down there. And I am recommending them. So, they work with us in Gettysburg every year because we're there at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash every year. In fact, we're going again in August this year. So,
cool.
Yeah. But that's a good, that's a great suggestion. But we have similar. We have we do a walkthrough, face-to-face chat as well. Mm-hmm. So it's good to read the people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's there's a lot that needs to go on before we even say we need to go and look as well.
Well, the thing is, Bill, it's like this. It's like you never know. There are so many different types of people out there.
Oh, for sure.
And out of as well as I do, out of 1,000 investigations, 1 or 2 are actually something. It's not like every single location. And but people themselves actually can cause the situation. You know, it could be domestic violence, violence in the house. It could be a young girl turning into a woman, but that too. There's a lot of different things out there that can cause this. And a woman breaking down. I mean, a woman breaking down or a man breaking down from a relationship. There's a lot involved. They're emotional for the next 6 months. There's a lot of stuff happening, misplacing on objects. They just can't get their mind right. There's a lot of things. So it's like it takes a little bit, before you really get in there.
Exactly. There's that psychological factor we need to look at. As you said, relationship breakdowns. Your mind doesn't always work right when you're under stress. You forget things very easily. The way the physiology of the body happens. It can seem like it's happening from outside. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus you've got your your high your black infrasound and your sort of different things happening as well that can affect the body. So not everything's paranormal. And that's the other thing I would say. I always tell people, especially when they're starting out, not everything's paranormal, and you don't have to accept every case. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't think it's real. So it's the way it is. It's the way you need to be. You need to be discerning what you pick, because otherwise it's your time, it's your family time. You're giving up. You know what I mean? So
and you don't want to wind up in a location where, especially alone, which you should never be doing.
Oh,
but
exactly. Never.
You could wind up someplace and get hurt and even killed or something, and you just you have to be careful out there. You really do.
Absolutely.
So can I ask another question?
Sure.
So since you were saying about you were talking about getting started,
yes.
So what would you suggest to somebody that was like, they're really into the paranormal and they want to start? I have a lot of friends that are into that, and they have the little, like you were talking about earlier, I don't know all the lingo, but the little readers and things like that.
Oh, the EMF detectors and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what would you suggest to somebody that's just starting out? Like, what would be their little paranormal kit? Or what would they do to start out?
Well,
that's a good question.
Yeah, I personally always tell them just start off small. Start off with a voice recorder and get a camera, because one, if they're starting out, it can cost a lot of money as well to buy this gear. Get a good voice recorder so you can do your EVP work, a good camera that takes video and still, and you can build from there if you want to keep going in the paranormal. I've seen people spend thousands of dollars, and after 6 months they don't want to do it anymore, and they're stuck with all this gear. You know what I mean? So start small, spend a couple of months or a year getting used to the basics, network with people, learn the trade. You know what I mean? Learn your base. Build a base, and then see what you want to get. So I'm not sure. Excuse me, I'm not sure what Ted would say, but that's the way I tell people.
Well, I wasn't laughing or shaking my head at what you were saying there. It's Robert White. Robert White.
Things in the comment section.
Yeah. Lone Scottish paranormal hunting is very dangerous. You could easily be killed. So this is why we love Robert.
Robert is part of our.
Yeah, part of our family. So Paratalk family. Right from day one. But basically I agree with Bill. You start out small. If you're talking like maybe you have a group of people that want to get together, that's cool. That way you're not going alone. Get all of you out and just go out and work together. But all you really need is a digital recorder, a camera. And I would also say some education. Get yourself some, with it. Like grab a couple books. There's plenty of them out there. But if you're going to do this on a serious level, then kind of, I don't know, it's really tough because it's been a long time since I started out. But, I see all these new teams and I always tell them education is one. Education is number one.
100%.
Safety is also a one, and protection is a one. So there's a lot of things you just have to keep in mind. But the only way to to become a ghost hunter or paranormal investigator is to get out there to do it.
Yep.
That's the truth, the experience. And so there's going to be fear. There's going to be all this emotional stuff playing with you. But your best bet is if you can find somebody that has experience to go out with you, teach you the ropes that they know, that's cool. To have a mentor is awesome.
Exactly.
But, if you're doing it on your own, start small, start easy and simple, and then just take it one step at a time.
Reach out to people as well. I mean, contact people, ask questions, send them messages. A lot of people are really good, and they'll get back to you. There are others that won't. You do get some people that won't. They don't talk very much, but you will have people that will help you. So there are good people out there.
Yes.
Well, one of the major experiences that I had is I was up in a town called Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. The Molly McGuire's. But anyway, there's a lot of history up there, and they were, there was trials up there of the Molly McGuire's, and they were, executing them by hanging in this prison called the Mock Chunk Prison. And, I went in there and I did the ghost tour, whatever. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm not going to experience anything, blah, blah, blah. My husband was fine. And I was downstairs in all the cells, everything, I was fine. And I went up into the kitchen area, like where they cook their food and things for the prisoners. And I could not breathe. I was like, there was an elephant on my chest. And I was just kind of taking pictures, snapping pictures. Oh, look, there's my husband by the stove, and, this and that. And then I walked down into the gift shop because I could no longer be in that room anymore. And I'll be darned if when I looked at the digital pictures, there was like 20 orbs all along my husband's feet. And that's why I was experiencing what I was experiencing. And he's like, I was fine. I didn't feel a thing, but I know I'm more sensitive. But it was just a simple digital camera, but that was such an amazing experience. And I knew it was real because I had the pictures to show it, so that was pretty cool.
And the great thing with digital cameras is you can look at the photo, the image straight away. You can look at it there and then.
Don't have to wait 2 weeks to get it developed like we used to.
That's what I say. When we're using film, we had to send it away before we saw anything. So,
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. The good old days.
Right.
So,
Cindy, well, all of you kind of said the same thing, you said about protection, right? So that was my other question that I had written down is, what do you do as an investigator to protect yourself? I'm not talking like weapons. I'm talking about more of at a spiritual, energetic level. Like, what is it that you do to protect yourself before you begin or walk into
we'll let Bill go first and then,
or something like that.
Yeah, we'll let Bill go first and then Cindy can answer that afterwards.
Thank you.
So we're not talking about a Glock or anything like that.
Right, no, not that kind of protection. I'm talking your energy field and your spiritual energy. Not the bang bang, bow and arrow.
Well, we've got an EMF reader built in there. It's all right. No, we practice a lot of spiritual protection. So I'm a Roman Catholic, so I have prayers as well as the more esoteric. So I use grounding. We do what we call a tree grounding. We have a lot of different areas, but the main one I do is what we call a tree grounding or an earth grounding, and do that before we go into an investigation to basically put us in good state. We do it at the end as well, so we're not taking anything home with us, and we'll stop and ground or put up our protections again whenever we need. I mean, you guys know there's so much out there that you can do. There's so many different ways. I always say it's very personal as well. So what someone else might do, and I might not see that as being good for me. So you'll develop your own way of protection, but grounding of some sort, whatever religion you are, I use prayers. Some people carry objects, they'll crucifix, or some people carry gemstones, or crystals. But for me, initially grounding,
necklaces.
necklaces. There's so many things you can do. It's a massive field. I did a talk a few years ago at a Paracon here in Australia, and I actually created a small booklet that I've given out to people, and people still contact me to grab that because there's. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying hi. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, there's a number of different things people can do when they're starting out. They can go in there and have a look, and then develop their own way of doing things. But grounding for me initially, yeah. So
I like that. I love that you say that, Bill. The grounding is huge. I think that's amazing that you guys use it. I have to say that after over 3 years of doing this and talking to paranormal investigators, that is my number one question: is how do you guys protect yourselves?
Yeah, for sure.
Into investigation. So it's huge and important. And of course, it's the reason I do it is because I am in tune with spirit, and that is a huge thing because I don't want them going home with anything.
Exactly.
And we have had investigators that are like, pshaw, we don't do anything for protection. And I'm like, out of my skull.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm out of my mind. So one of the things that I make sure with us is I love the grounding is I personally white light myself. I make sure that I'm white lighted before I go into an investigation.
For sure.
And when I'm coming out that I'm still white lighted. I do have my necklaces that help me, and religious, any kind of religious or beliefs kind of symbology. I have my pentagram.
Beautiful. Yep.
The other thing is that I firmly believe in is even if it's something that you're carrying with you, like smokeless smudge.
Right. Yes.
Throw this on, but I usually actually have sage, and I am literally saging everybody when they come out.
Exactly. Well, I do the same. If it's a particularly active or doesn't feel quite right, I'll sage everyone when we come out. I love the sage.
Me too.
I've had a couple of really interesting experiences with investigators that don't believe. One of them was one of my guys. He's a good guy. He's Ragnar is his name. He's a big guy, bodybuilder, good guy, not really nice, good investigator, but didn't believe really in grounding and protection and that. Very down to earth that way. And we were in a hospital, actually at the same asylum we were talking about. And
they're funny in the comments.
What was that? Sorry?
I said they're just being funny in the comments.
Oh, and he's standing there with we're in this hospital in the asylum there, and he is filming this group session that's going on because we had a friend of mine from the UK over, and I'm watching him and I'm seeing him is sort of bouncing back into the wall. I'm thinking, that's not right. So I said to my son, Joe. Now Joe's a big boy. He's 6'4", and I said, "Go and check." Back then he was only 16, but like he's getting bigger. I said, "Go and check Ragnar. Make sure he's all right." And he went over there. He said, "You're all right?" And he goes, "I can't move my legs." Right? I went, "Okay." So he got me. I come over. I said, "Right, what's going on?" He goes, "I can't move my legs." I said, "Okay, so you're being attacked." And so he said, "Something's pushing me on the chest." So we grabbed him one arm each over the shoulder, and we literally dragged him out while this other session was going on with my friend. And I had to take him out of the hospital and do a cleansing on him, do a healing on him. But the funny thing is, there was another group actually doing a ghost tour somewhere else in the asylum, and they wanted to see something in this hospital. So we've got Ragnar one arm around each other. We've walked to the door of this room. There's a big hallway. This group comes walking past. We're holding this fella like this, and not one of them looked at us and they were focused so forward. And I can imagine what the picture would have looked like if you can understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And anyway, we ended up taking him out and healing him. But from now he's learned to ground and protect himself. So he does that now. But it does happen. It does happen.
It just, here's the thing. It's better to be safe than sorry. And if you remember that line, then,
right.
I am what they call a skeptical believer. I want to believe terribly. There are things that I know and things that I still don't know. And there's things that I look out for. And I've been in this field for so long that I can smell bullshit 5 miles away. So for me, it's like I always have something with me for protection. Normally, I have sage in the glove box of my pickup truck, or I'll have it in one of the 11 cases that I have, or I'll have a spray, like I have the spray water now that's infused with sage or something. And then, of course, my necklaces, anything with belief. It's just you have to have something. Just to go in there without something is just, it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's going to kill you. I'm not saying it's going to hurt you, because you could get lucky, but
it's better to be prepared.
Don't know exactly. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. There's the old saying, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Right.
I agree.
So be prepared, even if you never have to use it ever, or never has to, have it up there, So yeah.
Right.
There you go.
So
thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to have about 3 minutes here, and then we're going to take a small break. But we have any questions in the chat room, feel free to get those things listed as well. Warrior gardening. Steve Berry says, I love that. Warrior gardening. He loves that statement. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Robert. Halogens help.
Yeah, true.
Get yourself a nice bright torch and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. about 100,000
It's
lumen.
gonna make me spit my water.
Exactly. The thing is what gets me about, like, we can sit here and have a conversation about us, with the paranormal, and with all of us that have been doing it for a long time. I still turn on the TV, and I still know that all this stuff is made for TV, but you get so tired sometimes of seeing the same stuff,
Yep.
And the idea that you're going to run into a demon at every location is
I know. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
Yes,
it is. You want to pull your hair out.
Yeah, I ain't got much to pull out, so that ain't happening for me. I'd have to go to the side, or the beard, or the,
We'll pull one beard hair out at a time.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't.
We have fun with Bill's too, though. He's got a big one.
My boys, when they, if I'm not listening to them, they'll grab my beard and turn my head. What? No, it's funny, but what do you do? Everywhere, people, unfortunately, a lot of things, everywhere's a demon, everything's a demon, and it does my head in. It does my head.
I love Steve. Steve, we love you to death.
Cracks me up.
I keep a demon in my indoors. We have some of the best people that follow this show. We really
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's all right.
And we, we've had all different types of people in the paranormal or UFO field or crypto field and whatever's out there. Horror, we do everything here.
ZB and Demon Show. That's right, Barry. You know what that means.
The ZB and Demon Show, yeah. But I will, I'm going to say this, and this is not to defend him, but to say he's doing something right. The man's making millions of dollars every freaking year when we're all sitting here scraping our pennies, so he did something right.
It's work. It's a business, and that's what it is, right? And people love it. People love it. So you're right. He's doing something great.
Exactly. GVPI has been around since 2008 as an actual registered business, as a nonprofit organization, and WLFE, Paratalk Radio, all these things that we have are a part of them. So we're able to do, like, I give lectures every year. I'm with the Owl Society for the library circuits in New York. So I go out and I do lectures, we do shows, we do events, we do so much because, education is definitely the biggest way to help solve some of these problems. And there are too many people out there that believe the weirdest things. Like, my house is haunted because my water keeps turning on in the bathroom. What?
So I can't find my keys. Yeah.
Let's get a plumber in there, and let's make sure that the rubber gaskets, not blown, and stuff like that. And
exactly.
So there's you're fine, Cindy. So yeah, there's stuff that you just can't assume. You can. One of the best advice that I've ever given was, please, if you're going to investigate, don't go up to a location believing it's haunted.
Yeah,
because you're already setting yourself up for it. You 100%. Go in with a clear mind. Don't believe anything. Let the evidence, let what you see, your personal experience tell you. Don't assume anything.
Going neutral.
Yes.
Going neutral.
Yeah.
Simple. Funny you said about the libraries. I actually do lectures in libraries as well around Victoria. So it's
Good job,
it's a great
man.
it's a great way for people to connect. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
And you get a lot of people that you wouldn't normally see, like on here or at one of the events or whatever. I mean,
exactly.
In the library, I get people from 80 to freaking 15. I mean, they're, you know what I mean? It's just they want to know what's out there. And I always start my lectures the same way. It's like, you're here to find out if ghosts are real. I can't tell you that.
No,
but what I can tell you is there's a lot of people out there like me trying to discover what is out there.
Yeah. I had a great experience with an old lady. She was quite elderly. Her husband was actually two old ladies. Both the husbands were into UFOs. So they did a lot of studying, a lot of notes, and both the husbands had passed away. So one of them lady said, would you like to, come to my house one and see what he's got, the notes? I said, yeah, I'd love to. So, I mean, we're talking, this is way back. Notes have gone back to the 60s, you know what I mean? So I went there and she goes, you can have them because I can't use them, and, there was some interesting stuff in there, I mean, it's great. So you meet these interesting people, you know what I mean? Yeah. And these things.
And research. Just research from somebody. Yeah, there could be a piece of the puzzle in there.
There was some really good stuff in there. You know what I mean? And it's for me, it's almost preserving that gentleman's work or those gentlemen's work. I found it. It was just one of those things, and I really like that sort of connection that was made.
Yeah. Steve, you're talking about pareidolia. Say, look at the cloud, looks like a teacup, then everybody else sees the teacup and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of things that happened back in the day, mass hysteria, mass manipulation. I mean, a lot of things happen. I mean, the story, the fisherman goes out and, he comes back with nothing. He tells his wife he caught a fish this big and it was actually that big. Well, that's how it works when it goes to mass hysteria and people believing things that the story just builds and builds and builds and builds. And then you get all this crap. And it's the same with the pareidolia. One of the things that I tell people, and we've got to go to a break right after this, but is I love the whole, maybe we'll save it. We'll do EVPs when we come back. We're going to talk about those when we come back. Some of the main things that we see, like orbs, EVPs, some of the equipment, stuff like that. We'll touch base with all those when we come back. So guys, don't go anywhere. Get your questions together. And I will have his links up here as well shortly. So don't go nowhere, everybody. Stay there. Get a drink. Go potty. Stay there, go there, and get a drink. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. We'll be right back.
WLFE Digital Network is now on digital television. If you're into ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, and the creepy, then WLFE has a TV channel for you, Paranormal View. Watch all of your favorite WLFE video talk shows on one channel. Shows like Paratalkradio, Step Into the Paranormal, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, and more. Looking for something else? Do you support the LGBTQ plus community? WLFE has brought all of their LGBTQ shows like Inside the Drag Closet, Everything Yet Nothing, Across the Pond, and Rainbow Soul all into one place. A new TV channel called LGBTQ Friends. The third channel is a Variety Unlimited. Here you'll find a wide variety of talk shows you know and love, like Just Cindy, Card Pulls and Coffee, Real Talk with Nom, The Bipolar DMs, Meet the Author, and Movie Review 5. The best part of watching these shows is that they're all available to watch at one location, one website, WLFE-DB.com.
You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Listen to the WLFE-DB podcast, available on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check out shows like Paratalkradio, Inside the Drag Closet, and Step into the Paranormal. Now, on to your favorite podcast app.
This is Dominic Santasero with Real Talk with Dom. You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area, 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalkradio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com. You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
All right, we are back. Just real quick, I just want to say, you guys, make sure you tune in next week. Christy Sumner will be here from the Soul Sisters Paranormal. 2 weeks in a row, we're talking paranormal, which is really, really cool. So we're going to have her and her team next week. That's you just what? Cindy, what are you laughing for?
Our picture with our noses, so cute.
Don't you like that picture? I love that picture of
I
us.
do. It's so cute.
We got to get some more funny pictures like that. Also, guys, if you are interested, I'm a part of the Sofa Guys movie review. So on the 1st, we'll be doing the movie review of the new movie Mortal Kombat. We're going to be talking about that and some other movies as well.
I watched it.
Yeah, and Frank, Gerard, Sean, and Emmanuel and myself. There'll be 5 of us there on the 1st for a couple hours talking about movies. So if you want to, you can join us there as well. So, all right. So back to the rat killing. Sorry, Cindy doesn't understand why I say that all the time, but back to business, I guess.
It just makes me giggle. Hey, Frank.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those John Wayne things. Sorry, he was my hero. I can't help it. So. Hey, guys, got a spooky show going here or something? Yeah, Frank. Frank, we're always doing something spooky and weird or off the wall. You know that.
Something spooky.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that we commonly see in the paranormal. One of them is that we deal with is the EVPs. That's one of the biggest things that we deal with, and which electronic voice phenomenon. And one that you don't hear very often is the right out the freaking door. Come here, come back here. Disembodied voices. Jesus. Yeah. And the difference between the two, because people don't understand that. I'm getting a lot of that, and electronic voices that they're getting from ghost boxes that they believe are actual EVPs. They are not. So there's a lot of things, but let's go right into EVPs. So William, experience with EVPs. What do you think?
I love my voice recorders and trying to catch the voices. For me, it's unfortunately, I find a lot of people in the field, they record something, there's an anomaly, and they'll mess with it so much that it's just been distorted to no end. So I hate that. When I record something, it needs to be pure. For me, it needs to be pure to be, if that makes sense, to be credible. So if I can listen to it straight away and I can hear what it says, or understand what it says, great for EVP. When it starts getting to and then they start playing with it and trying to distort it so it sounds like something, no good. But I've had some great look, I love EVPs. I believe if a spirit wants to contact you, it really doesn't matter what recording device you're using. You could have a $2,000 voice recorder or a $20 voice recorder. If they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you and they'll pass a message on. Yeah, if that makes sense. I've had some, And the other thing is that, with any recordings or with any voices that come through, the context needs to be relevant as well. If you're asking a question, how old are you? And it says, you hear something that thinks, sounds like tree or something, the context isn't there. I think there needs to be context in the communication. Yeah.
You got somebody singing, Cindy?
Yeah, Jan's singing.
Oh, jeez. Like, what the hell?
My son is singing.
There's an EVP for you.
Yeah.
Disembodied voices of Cindy's house.
The spirits are trying to
Like,
talk to
you're
us.
a jerk. I literally went and connected because I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a problem with my camera. I haven't seen any problems.
Yeah, I haven't
And
either.
so I went and hooked up my Ethernet because of you, Frank, you brat.
Oh, and he says, just joking. I
Yes,
see it. Okay.
you're messing with me.
Okay. Well, one of the things about EVPs with me is that over the years, I've learned that if we're going to prove or try to prove anything, we need to do our research and we need to be pretty thorough, especially with EVPs.
Yeah.
Again, they're electronic voice phenomenon. So one of the things that's crossed my path 100 times, and it's like, you get an EVP and you sit there and you listen to it, you yourself will come up with what you think it is, what it says. Yep. Okay. Yep. But guaranteed, if you take that and give it to somebody else in another room, they haven't heard what you have, you give it to them, you tell them to go listen to it, write it down, and then come back and see if they got the same thing. It's very tough to get the same thing. A lot of people cannot hear what we're hearing. I mean, and then they say, "Oh, we're trained to hear that stuff." It's like, no. To me, if it's not easily heard, if it's not directly answering the question that you're asking, and if you really have to search for this thing and manipulate that recording, then that's not an EVP. Yeah,
exactly.
Then you're just making something out of nothing. Yeah,
it's audio pareidolia, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have to scrutinize that stuff. If we don't, then everything is. You know what I mean? 100%. It's the same. 100%. It's the same with pictures, and we can't do that stuff. We have to be able to take what somebody says is a good EVP and tear it apart and put it back together. I mean, that's the field we're in right now. I mean, if we're ever looking to go forward, we have to be critical on some stuff.
Absolutely. So self-critical, even.
Yeah. And we have to understand everything. It's like people just assume so many things, and we can't let that happen. We've got to try and connect the dots. I guess
sure, 100%. But you're right. I mean, when you, as I was saying, you as well, you manipulate too much of anything, and it distorts and it doesn't become what it was.
And it's not the true EVP because it's something you've played with, right?
Exactly. It's manufactured, and you don't want that. You want it to be pure,
right?
Hear it, and that's it. Yeah,
and
my thoughts.
Yeah, that's true. And now disembodied voices, and I've gotten this too, where people will say to me, listen to this recording, and then you hear the recording of what I said, and I'm like, well, this is an EVP, or is this a disembodied voice? And it's a EVP. I'm like, okay, so you know what that is, right? So this was only caught on that. It's not something that you physically heard. You guys did not hear in the building. Oh no, we heard it. Well, then it's not an EVP. It's a disembodied
voice. Exactly.
There is a difference.
Yes.
And then
Teddy
you get the
started
people.
testing me on these things before too. He's like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, and then there's
He's like,
and then
an EVP. And I'm like, okay, what about it? And he thinks he's gonna like catch me or something.
refresher. We all need a refresher course. I don't
Yes.
care who you are and how long you've been doing it. You forget things. You do.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same with ghost
Okay, Don,
boxes.
we'll see you at your show soon.
I'm sorry, but if you have a ghost box going and you think that you asked a question and this thing just so happens to give you an answer and you're recording it and you're calling that an EVP, that's sorry, it's not. That's a ghost.
Wow.
You are basically just recording a ghost box conversation. It's not a true EVP or a disembodied voice. It's a
Correct.
It's just a recording of your investigation. It doesn't mean anything to me. I normally throw those immediately out. Immediately.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yep.
I did an investigation just in this past fall, and they were using a ghost box. And you know how I feel. I don't use them at all. But I was on the 3rd floor, and there was a group down in the basement where they were using this ghost box. And they were saying something about, they said Cindy's up on the 3rd floor or something. That's what the ghost box said. And they all like are freaked out. And they all of a sudden comes over the walk. They're like, where's Cindy located? And they said Cindy's on the 3rd floor. And they're like, what? So it's very interesting. Sometimes it's just funny, the things you pick up and get, but it does not necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, but sometimes, like I said, it's the same with the EVP. Is that it's what you interpret from it. Sometimes it doesn't really say that. We've brought this up 100 times where we have seen, teams go into a home and then that person calls us and says, "Hey, this team was here and they did this, and I don't want to stay in my home. Can you come here?" Because they scared the shit out of these people. Because of a ghost box. I mean,
I've had that. I had one team tell a lady she had a demon in her house and she had to move out. She rang me up in tears, and we went there, and it was nothing of the sort. It wasn't anything even remotely negative. You know what I mean? It was just these people didn't know what they were doing. You know what I mean? But with the ghost boxes, portals, those sort of things. We have used them, and we do use them now and then. We use them for public investigations. I've had some interesting.
I'm not saying you can't get some type of weird results because there are things, but
for sure, I believe spirits can do basically manipulate what they need to communicate. One interesting, I suppose, conversation we had was we were at an old what do you call it, pioneer village. Does that make sense? Like a okay. We were in the church, and one of my guys had this. We call it a GD box or a portal box, and we were asking it questions and getting some good answers. But one of the questions was, "Is there anyone here that you know?" And it did come back clearly, and we come back clearly as Bill. Okay, which is not unusual. You get that. And then the funny
Bill's
thing
a common name, though, too. I mean,
it is. The funny thing was, but then he said, "Where do you know Bill from?" And it actually said Arradale. Now, Arradale's the lunatic asylum where we do a lot of investigations.
Oh,
and that was clear. So that made me laugh. I laughed more than it. It was to me, it was quite funny. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, well, they're following me around. You know what I mean? But so you can get some interesting things off them. But I understand what you're saying. It is basically noise.
Right.
Really.
He's got ghost baggage. That's what I call ghost baggage.
Ghost baggage is a good word. I like that.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Ghost baggage. But it to me that was. It was funny, but it was interesting because it was very specific and very clear. There was a bunch of people there, and they all heard exactly the same. You know what I mean?
I can't. I will never put down a team or a person for using what they use. I just if I'm going to try to validate or try to come up with what we're looking at as evidence, where I could pass this on to somebody to look at, and they're going to do the same screening I do of that and say, hey, you got something here, then I have to throw certain things out. Sorry. I mean, that's just the way it is for me.
Right.
And,
Want to
you
be able
know,
to replicate it.
right. And go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was going to say, I dislike apps, these phone apps.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started on those.
Yeah, exactly. I really have no time for them,
Right.
But, it is what it is,
What the hell is it? The ghost radar?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. On the apps. Oh, my God.
But
People,
even
take it off your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Even they have like a
Ghost
some of them have like a K2 meters on there and things like that. They haven't got the sensors to, even if they were real, they haven't got the same sensors as an actual. You know what I mean? It's a phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
they don't make these phones with these specific devices for them to be in there, and it's not like this phone. As soon as you turn the app on or get the app in there, the phone magically changes on the inside. No, sorry, it doesn't work that way.
There's areas that are just ridiculous. You know what I mean? There's some that are a bit iffy, and then there's others that you follow. So, but I think it comes down to people as well. Their psychology and what they want to believe. You know what I mean? Which is really
right. So there's a couple.
Belief is a big thing.
Yeah. There's a couple statements in here. We're gonna go right over here to Bob Renee. He says, when I first started investigating, all I would do with an EVP was listen. Now I use Adobe Audition. I never add effects or anything, but I can turn up the volume and put a limiter on the recording to protect my ears.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's cool.
Yep.
He
that's
also
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think there's a lot of new people who miss a lot of EVPs.
Yes.
I guess that's possible too, but you really have to. There are so many things that people don't understand that when you're walking and you have a recorder, if you don't mark that you sneeze or pass gas or your foot squeaked on the floor or you accidentally hit a chair or
there was a loud truck going outside and passing by the house.
Yeah, or you heard somebody upstairs that's up there on the next level investigating,
I hear somebody singing in the next room while they're playing video games.
Exactly. I literally, yesterday or the day before, I'm writing something up for training, and literally was talking about walking with a recorder, tagging, and some of the examples I used was a truck driving by and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's exactly right. You there's so much noise that you don't realize what they're picking up. People don't realize when you're holding it, you're moving around. You know what I mean?
And
even the air.
And here's the other thing that goes with that is that there are a lot of people that say, don't ever stick that in your pocket either while it's on recording because all you're going to hear is.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, that goes to this other question that we always get. It's like, why do you guys investigate in the dark? Well, let me just clear this up for you. The reason we do it in the dark is not because there's more activity. It's because it's quieter. It's because there's less traffic, because there's less people awake to make noises. Yep. Even the birds are sleeping. So come on. I mean, there's a less of a chance of noises that you and contamination that you so you're able to pick things out easily, and so that's the main reason. Is it true that some activity is higher at night? My belief is if it's happening at night, it's happening during the day. Most of us 100%. Are working during the day, so you're not seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, activity doesn't automatically turn on when it goes dark. That's the way I look at it. If the spirit's there, it's there 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Hey, Cindy, that ghost waits. Like, okay, it gets dark at 7:59. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2.
Time to go to work.
Countdown begins, people. Look alive. Look alive.
Time to go to work.
But look alive.
100%.
How are we doing over there, Carrie? You learning over there?
Of course.
Do you have any questions?
Where are you right now, Carrie? Where are you at?
She's in Pennsylvania. Actually, she
sounds
like she's in a school or something.
No, I'm actually. That's why I have my mic muted. I'm in the pool area at a hotel that I'm staying at.
Oh, in a hotel.
Because we had a house fire, so we're here. It was a small house fire, so we were all okay. But we had a lot of smoke, so we're displaced for a couple weeks. But You told me that I had the opportunity, and I wasn't gonna let it pass me by.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Awesome.
I'm at a pool.
Glad you're all the right way.
Let's go swimming. I'd rather go swimming.
It's like the only place I can be by myself and not have to wear a mask, and there's like nobody walking around. So
Perfect.
yeah. So that's why I'm muting my mic when I'm not talking.
Well,
Fair
I'm
enough.
sorry that you guys had a house fire, but
that's
I'm glad
terrible.
you guys are all
It's
safe.
okay though. We're all right.
That's right.
good.
Everybody's
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
I'm jealous though. I want to go swimming.
I know. Cool.
You know when it was last time it was that I did a cannonball? I think I was like 16. Holy shit, I'm 54 right now. Oh, man, it's been a long time.
Cannonball, my friend. Jeez, Teddy. We can do that in Gettysburg.
I guess we can. I'll bring my swimming trunks.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe I'll see you in Gettysburg. That would be really
Oh
cool.
my gosh, yes. Come and see
When
us
is
at
that?
the Gettysburg
That
Bash.
is August 25th.
Oh man.
Shit.
Hang on, I'll check right
August.
now. I have it.
Gettysburg Bash, you say?
Yep,
Yeah,
Gettysburg
yeah.
Bash, and it is the 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
Gettysburg, man. I love
I
Gettysburg.
know.
Well, the
I'm
next
so
ti-
excited to hear that you've been here and
been
been able to
twice.
investigate
Well,
some.
Bill, the next time you
cases.
come this way, you'll have to let us
Yes,
know.
you
I
have
will,
to
man.
Love to meet
let us
up with you.
know.
I will. We stayed in. I went there with Brad Kling, and of Ghost Lab.
Yep.
He's a mate of mine. We had him out here, and we stayed at the where was it? The Fairfield Inn, just outside Gettysburg. And the only ones in the place, there was Brad and his wife and myself in this place on the first night, and we stayed up in the 3 colonels' room up the top. There's like a lounge area with a day bed and then a bedroom. They were in the bedroom, and I'm on the day bed. This is the first night. This is like second night in the States. I spent the first night in.
What is this? Where were you?
Fairfield Inn, just outside Gettysburg.
Fairfield. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Fairfield,
yeah. And I'm on this day bed trying to sleep. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I hear these boots, like heavy, walk in the room, walk past me, go through the door, not open the door, but go through the door. And I'm going, yeah, this is awesome. And I started lying there. And then I heard, this is 3:30 in the morning. I'm hearing drums. Okay. This is awesome, right? And then I heard 2 women talking. So this is just in a matter of like 45 minutes. So I'm ready to go. I mean, I had other experiences there, but this was the first night. So get up for breakfast, go downstairs. Brad comes down. He says, "Did you come in my room last night?" I said, "No." He said, "Because someone heavy boots walked in to my room." I said, He goes, and then I looked up and he goes, "I could see a man with a beard." And I go, "Wow, that wasn't me, mate. That wasn't me." And his wife come down and she heard something as well. So that was the first night, mate. That set up for the whole time we were there.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
That was the first time I was there. That was brilliant. So I love Gettysburg. Yeah, I love Gettysburg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gettysburg.
we do too. We go every year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I would go every year if I could. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's probably ridiculously expensive for you to get over there.
Oh, you know what? It is. But first time I went on my own. Second time I took one of my son with me. He was 13 at the time. He's 18 now. We had a blast. We do a lot of things. Like I try to do as much as I can. If I'm staying somewhere, I try to stay somewhere that's got a reputation for being active.
Exactly.
So we try to make the most of what we do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And have experiences. Because you can get more money, but you can experiences are what it's about. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You said your son is 18 now?
He is now. Yes.
It's been a while since you've been
I
there.
don't know if you had heard me earlier. You said you have more than one son. How old are your kids?
I have 4 sons and 1 daughter.
Jeez Louise, okay.
My daughter's 29. My eldest son's 27. Then I've been married twice. So the second marriage I had, I got 3 boys. I've got Joe, who's 18, Hunter, who's 15, and Mackenzie, who's 11.
Wow.
So yeah, and awesome. I love kids. I love family. So.
Yeah. You and I have older children. My daughter is going to be 30 in August.
Right.
And,
yeah, my daughter's 30 in September. So there you go.
listen, the funny part is that then you said you have your 18-year-old son, and my son is 18. He turned 18
really?
already.
Well, yeah.
And then a 16-year-old.
Well, close. It's it's family is good, and they've grown up with what we do, so it's it's
perfect.
It's interesting. I love it. I love it. So it's good when they can travel with you too. They're all travel, so
yes. I take the boys with me.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that because I don't have kids. So
yes, we take them to Gettysburg.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever meet.
Stop it, Eddie. You don't really care if you have children.
No, I
don't.
No. So, did you have another question, Carrie, before I move on?
Me?
Yep.
Does it have to be about EVPs or can it be anything?
Anything.
Oh, okay. So, Bill, what is like your most memorable experience, like that sticks in your brain? That is like the most awesome experiences you've had investigating. That you'll like take it to the grave.
I've had some.
That was perfect timing.
I love it. Look, I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of experiences, and I always talk about a few because they're to do with get the duct tape. Sorry, I'm just reading. There's a lot. I mean, one of the best experiences I had, it was by accident. Look, I've had great experiences in Gettysburg. I could tell you a bunch of experiences there, but in here, I talk about the asylum a lot because I've had so many experiences there. And I'm talking about EVPs actually. Aradale Asylum. One weekend we used to stay up there. We used to sleep in there. One weekend we caught 87 Class A EVPs.
Holy shit!
87 Class A. And wow. You listen to them, you can just understand what they say. But for example, this location for me is great. Now I've had a lot of great experiences, but one of the ones that stick in my mind is we were in what's called the forensic building where they used to study the criminally insane, and it's outside the main complex. So I'd open the gate, take the people out. We'd walk down, and this is on a public investigation. Do a session in there. So we used to, whatever experiment we wanted to do with them. And then I'd open the door because it's a very old building. It's very stuffy. So I open the door after the session, let people take photos, and I'll wait outside. Anyone that wants to come out. So I've walked up. This lady wanted to go outside. I've opened the door, and there was a short, stout gentleman standing there in the old woolen outfit that the inmates or the patients used to wear. We looked at him. He looked at us as shocked as we looked at him, and then he just vanished. He just went and was gone. But he was there. I looked over at the lady and I said, I was going to say, did you see that? She's standing there with her mouth open, and I thought, well, you've seen that. And to me, that's one of the ones that sticks because it was unexpected. But that's that. And I've once I had a gentleman working for me who I didn't realize at the time wasn't a very nice person, and we were using a ghost box. And we said, I said, is there someone here you don't like? And it said this person's name. And within about 30 seconds, this gentleman was standing still with a camera. His feet were pulled out from under him. His feet went up in the air, wow. and he landed down. That was one, validating, and two, not long after that, I found out what he was doing. But
wow,
to me, that was probably to witness that firsthand was one of the really interesting things. Yeah, but wow. There's so many I could go to. So yeah.
What's your best Gettysburg story or experience?
I had a lot. I really had a lot there. I was down in the orphanage, down in the basement, in the the hole in the wall that they used to. Rosa Carmichael used to put the kids in there, and I sat in there and I was singing nursery rhymes. I'm down there on my own. I was singing nursery rhymes, and my recorder picked up children laughing. What I would do is I would sing the nursery rhyme, would stop before the last couple of words to try to get them to finish it off. And there was literally children laughing on this recorder. That was one. That was the first time I was there. The second time I was down in that area again. And when I got back to the hotel, I had my son with me. I took my socks off and I had a bite mark with the teeth indentations the size of a child. So it's quite small on my leg.
Wow.
And so that there we had that. We were actually speaking of these devices, Ted, we were down in the basement of Jenny Wade House. We had a bunch of people there. We had an ovilus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Off a dictionary, right?
Yep.
It started spitting out. It spat out her age first. Then it spat out something else. I think it was bread, which is what she was baking. Okay, that could be
right.
coincidence,
right?
But then it actually said Jenny Wade. I shit you not.
Wow.
Wow.
It actually said Jenny Wade, and that's not in the dictionary of an ovilus. So how
right.
that was manipulation. I got it on recording, but everyone there heard exactly the same thing. And so that was probably one of the really good ones. Pickett's Charge. During the day, we were just having a look around. I had a video camera, I was doing some filming, and there's like a little track and no one around me. I heard two men talking right behind me. So I stepped out the way thinking someone was walking up behind me to go past, and there was no one there. All sorts of different things. We had some great, saw a full-bodied apparition of a lady at the Fairfield Inn, in a old style dress. Yeah, just a couple of them, but there was others. So there's quite a lot. I had quite a lot there. Yeah. I actually, just the history. I'm really big on history. I love history.
Yeah,
but the history of the location for me is just, it's just so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had quite a few experiences. Yeah, which was really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no worries. No, that's all right. It's good.
Cool.
So there's a question that was here.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to many of them yet. Which one?
So a question for you all from Bob Burnell. Do you all wear headphones while you investigate and listen live while you investigate?
Well, you can. Sometimes you can. There's, it's you can plug them in, as you know, and you can hear what's being recorded. It depends. We will vary between no headphones. And there's all different techniques you can do in there. So it just depends. Yeah.
Right. And in some cases, like if you're just sitting still in a location, like you're in one room and you're going to be there for an hour or whatever the case may be, yes, I will stick on headphones and I will sit there and listen in real time, for what is being, recorded. We actually added a device to our stuff years ago. It was called the Listen Up. And actually what it is it enhanced the volume of the room. And basically it was for people that were getting older that needed to hear. So it enhanced the room by, 2,000 or whatever it was, just as in temperature. So we would connect the two to the microphone as well with just a loop. And you could sit there and you could hear outside as well as inside all the other rooms. Right. But, unfortunately with stuff like that, you get cross-contamination. So for us, it's easy. It's just if you're in one room, recorder, headphones, that's fine. If not, then you just record and take it home and listen to it later. It depends on how much you have to review, because I'll be honest with you, if you're using a DVR system and 15 cameras like I have for the location, and you're there 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, you have to think of each camera times 8 or 10 hours. That's how much footage you have to go through unless you're marking it, so... But there's always stuff that can be missed no matter what, but you try to play in your head or you write down, like I always take a notebook or something with me to where I can write down specific things so that I can remember to go back on the tapes or on the video to say, hey, let's research this a little further. But there's been many a times that I've gone back and like a half hour before, or 10 minutes before, or a couple minutes before each incident, something else has happened, you know, and you didn't know it. So it's better to go through all your evidence, unless you have somebody actually sitting there looking at it. But
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't use headsets at all. You know, that's for Teddy to do. So one of the things that I do is I'll go through a location because I do not want to know anything. This is something that, you know, just is personal with me and Teddy. Don't give me any information. I'll meet you there. Don't tell me anything. And the thing is I walk with somebody and they'll be recording. And I will literally make note, like on Saturday that we just did this investigation, there was a teenager playing his video games in another room, and you could hear him. I said, "Hey, that's the child playing video games in the other room." Marking it as we go, just because you have to. But no, I don't.
Tagging is very important.
It really is. Yes, I agree.
Otherwise, you spend half an hour trying to work out what the Ted's stomach grumbles. You know, what said.
Oh my God!
Ted's tummy.
So loud before, and we were at an investigation and it was late, and they're like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Oh, that was my stomach. I'm sorry."
I've had that happen. I had a friend of mine here, and it was a bit crude, but he broke wind. The gas go.
He farted.
And they recorded it, but he didn't tag it. And then you've got these people going, "Oh, listen to this. It's a growl," or whatever it was. I can't remember. But he goes, "I felt so bad I couldn't tell them that I broke wind." Tell them, please.
I'd have been like, "Nah, that's just me farting."
Exactly.
And then it would be great. I'm like, "Oh, you really like get him going for a minute?" Like, yeah. Wow, that's. Oh wait, no, that's my fart.
I can smell sulfur.
Too much. Oh Jesus!
Oh my God! I would do that, Teddy.
Oh jeez.
I would fuck with them.
Why not? That's awesome.
Why not? It's fun.
Yeah,
it is.
You know, the thing is with all the stuff that over the years, you know, you get used to certain things. You can tell what they are sometimes. Oh, that's a squeak of a shoe. Oh, that's, you know, blah, blah, blah. I had a camera that it would cycle every 30 or 40 minutes. Right. And when it cycled, you would hear a click, click.
Okay.
Click, click. And I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, and you know, when I first got the camera, it took me a while to figure out, okay, well, let's go back. Let's set up everything we did to make sure it wasn't some of our equipment.
Yep.
So that's what I did. And that's when I found out that it was actually the camera. Noise. It was recycling. Yeah. And it was a click, click. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I found that. But you know, you have to be aware of your equipment 100%. And other people and everything. You know, you really do.
100%. No, I agree.
Did you see this comment from Bob Burnell?
I was going to read it. You go ahead, Cindy. Go ahead. You can read it.
Started a year ago or so and think it is so important. Cannot stress enough how important it is. We were at the Conjuring House and my teammate asked a question saying, "Can you see us?" I was wearing headphones and heard a response. She was not wearing headphones and heard no response. Going back on review, sure enough, we got a response that said, "I can see you." If I was not wearing headphones, we would have missed it because had to turn volume way up to hear it. Interesting. Barry says I was at Gettysburg for the first time last year and it was awesome. I will be definitely heading back again this year in August.
We're glad because I mean it's just one of those places. If you've never been there, folks, especially for an event like this, I mean, it's one of the better events. It's like a para-unity event. I mean, a lot of people that are there, they're very welcoming, very nice, very, 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 very good people. And we go every year with WLFE, and we just enjoy the hell out of it. Plus, everybody's become our friends now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's
Steve
great.
Berry says in-ear monitors better than phones, worth the money. I guess I don't know what the difference is. What's an in-ear monitor as compared to an ear, like a headphone?
Well, your in-ear monitors is sort of like, well, on your headset thing that you have those little earbuds that you can put in your ears.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
That's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Instead of headphones, the earbuds.
Yeah. Bob says, I was at the Farnsworth house where Jenny Wade was shot from and caught a thermal photo of a ghost in the attic thought to be the shooter.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Cool.
Barry has a question. He says, William, what type of cameras do you like to use while investigating? Do you also like to use closed circuit TV cameras?
Yeah.
That are usually assembled on top of tripods.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah. We like Ted there, we use DVR systems. So I have a couple of different sets depending on what we need. And you set them up and we let them run, as you know, recording to a hard drive, etc. But the camera I take with me is a Sony 4K video camera with it takes shots as well. So the 4K has a much bigger chip, so it cuts out a lot of the orb anomalies that are dust and that sort of stuff. And it's really good picture on it, really good playback, really good recording. It also has the night vision in there. We enhance it with a booster, and I try to use it when I can, which I tell people with night vision anyway, is to try to use it on a tripod anyway, because it's much more stable. And night vision can be a bit dodgy sometimes if you move it around too quick. But yeah, Sony 4K. I can't remember the model off the top of my head. That's what I carry with me. So yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Bob says he's going to go to the Gettysburg Bash next year. Not this year in August, but next year. It's usually earlier.
It's usually June or July. I think it's July normally.
I think so too. Here, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think with COVID, a lot of things have changed, haven't they?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so terrible. It's really changed a lot for us.
It
We
has.
normally have the Rochester Winter Parafest, which is the start of all the paranormal conventions in the U.S. that go, from in March to the end of the year. So we're usually the start, but we didn't get to this past year because the COVID just screwed everything up.
Exactly. We're only just getting back to our tours now. I think we did one last year at the beginning, and that was it. It's just,
I can't find it for 2019. That's so weird. It's like it took it out.
Guys, take a look here. This is Australian Paranormal Society, which we still need to talk about because we haven't done that yet. And here's the Facebook page, facebook.com, Australian Paranormal Society. So make sure you check out Bill and his team. Very nice people. They will talk to you if you have a question. So please reach out to them. Definitely do that. All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, guys, also real quick, got to do a little bit of our own pushing here. WLFE.com. Right on the opening page, when you open that up, there's our TV channel, Paranormal View TV. It plays 24/7. It has all the paranormal shows that are on the network. Right there, you can binge watch. It's 24/7. There's 3 channels in total. There's a Paranormal View, LGBTQ Friends, and Variety Unlimited. So there's 3 channels right on the opening page that you can watch 24/7 with shows, and we're always adding new shows all the time.
Yes.
So make sure you check that out as well.
So July 2020 was when Gettysburg Bash was for last year, and it was the 24th, 25th, and 26th.
So July,
I do believe it's July that it usually occurs.
Right.
So Bob puts in here as well. He says we have the mini GoPros, which are easy to use. I also have a Canon T7i, which is a full spectrum, and I just got a Panasonic Lumix G9 4-6K. Wow, didn't know they were making a 6K.
Yeah, it's a nice camera.
Oh,
Lumix is a good camera too.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. My DVR system is all Lorax. I use everything Lorax, video and audio. They're great cameras. I don't have any issues with them whatsoever. And then I have GoPros and R2D2s is what I call them. They're the wireless ones that turn. And then I have so many cameras. I get so much money. It's amazing. That's why we told you, Carrie, that when you start out, go small. Because eventually, if you stick with it, you're going to be like the rest of us with thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Poor, did you say? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Rich in cameras and equipment, but poor.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're rich with knowledge.
That's right. That's
one thing. That's one thing I can say about people who've been doing it for a long time. It's like we do have stuff in our brain; it just needs to be pulled out every once in a while. Just here. This is the experience that I've had, and
it pops up sometimes, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So Bob just said we have 4 Lorax, but they have no sound. Do yours have sound, Teddy?
Yes. It depends on the model that you buy.
Yeah.
Got it.
And we kind of rednecked ours up a little bit too. I mean, but you have to remember, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, we kind of redneck them up. We actually, instead of using camera stands to put them on, we actually have music stands, microphone stands. So because your camera stands only go to about 5.5 to 6 feet as in height. So we actually use the microphone stands, and I can get almost 10 feet out of them. So I can stick them in the corner of a room.
Yep.
To boost up the whole room, so I can see the whole room. So it really depends on what you're doing, how you have it set. People put them on 2x4s and set them in corners and all that other stuff. But I'm lazy, so I just put them on microphone stands so I could just lift it up and tighten it, and I'm good to go.
Whatever works.
I like what Robert says. He said, "Can you imagine all the ghosts of COVID? There will be a lot of saying, 'Where's your mask?'"
Yes.
Robert, you win the gold star tonight, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Barry says, "Announcement from me. Quartz Fest in Canandaigua on the weekend of May 4th and 5th. Good place to go if you're into rocks and minerals like me. Hunting with the cameras on the bull bars of the truck. The bull bars of the trucks."
What's
wait.
that?
Oh, I started because it.
Yeah,
moved.
I was like, holy shit! You went from Barry to Robert White. What?
Yes, good place to go if you're into rocks and minerals like me. They have some good local mineral vendors there too. I want to go, Barry. There you
go. There you go.
Heck yeah. Robert says, "Now I had a flash of an image go through my mind of redneck ghost hunting with the cameras on the bull bars of the trucks." Yeah. And Bob says, "Cow horns." Yes, I totally mixed the messages because it moved and I didn't realize it. And so the last sentence became Robert's last sentence.
Amateurs. So
Listen,
real quick, why don't you?
Myself, Teddy Poo Poo.
I know. So let's talk about what is the Australian Paranormal Society.
Well, it's a group, obviously, and we look at several different areas. So we have our education, as I said, research and investigations to help people, to educate the public, and to research the paranormal. So they're the really 3 areas we cover.
Okay.
We use psychics, mediums, etc. So the esoteric side of things, plus your technical side of things. So we combine that. Our main point when we're investigating is we're looking for points of validation. So if we find something that's interesting, we try to find as many points of validation with that as possible. So really, we're probably very much like what you guys do. We're out there trying to build the reputation of the paranormal, to build a field, educate, and research. You got something going on there, Teddy?
Cindy knows. I have a house that just it does its
active.
own thing.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Is it doing stuff right now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It either kicked the chair or kicked something here. sort of like it does the bed. Like it's usually 3 or 3:30. It'll, like, if I'm snoring away and I'm sleeping, it'll kick the bed to wake me up.
To stop the snoring.
Right. Stop snoring.
Yes, to wake you up or stop the snoring.
Yeah. Or Cindy and I'll be having a conversation and somebody will be knocking on the door, and I go to open the door and there's nobody there.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I've heard stuff as we're just sitting there talking. And he'll have me on, like, what do you call that?
Messenger back and forth.
Yeah. Well, but when we're talking in speakerphone, he'll have me on. So not just speakerphone, but we're literally, it's video chat. So it's like speakerphone and video. So you can hear what's going on in the room. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And he's like, oh, you know. And I'm like, wow.
Just a house guest.
I'm like, was that a knock on your door? Yep. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, when your 80-something-year-old father says you really need to investigate the house. Why? Because there's a ghost in this house. I know there's a ghost in this house. I'm like,
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever.
It's funny where you live. I live in a house where there was a murder. And we investigated the house about 6 years before we took the place over. So, helped the guy. But we still haven't come back, and we still have a few other things going on here. It'd be funny. People will be sitting at our table having a chat, and I'll see their face and they'll look. I said, I knew what they saw already. We have a tall, dark man that walks around. He's not bad. He does nothing negative. I believe he's like a protector almost. And they see him. People see him during the day, during the evening, doesn't matter when.
Yeah.
And he wanders around. So houses, where you live it's quite funny what you experience yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, my house is active too. We've had I've had somebody investigate this one as well.
Yep.
And the crazy things that have happened. I mean, and I used to do open houses here. And after the open house, because the open house would be that they could come in and I would be doing readings. So you can come and go as you please. And, whatever time you came in, was when I would go in order. But there would be, afterwards, we would do a seance. And I allowed people to just, if they felt something, had something weird thought came into their mind, then they would just tune in. And they could say whatever this random thought was, because this random thought may be something important for somebody else.
Yep.
So we're all sitting here, and I had like a packed house. And all of a sudden, everybody that was in the room, my boyfriend at the time was in the other room lying on the floor. And I had...
Why'd you kill him?
What's that? Yeah. I mean, don't say that. The only two people that didn't experience anything was my daughter, who had fallen asleep in the living room, and my ex-boyfriend, who was lying in the other room. Those two people did not experience anything. Everybody else that was awake in that room experienced something.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Either a visual or an auditory.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, Carrie, we're all sharing our experiences. Have you ever experienced anything?
Oh, yeah, I've had lots of experiences. Yeah. Up, like I was saying, up at the Mock Chunk prison, I've had experiences up there. I've had experiences at Gettysburg. Not. I've seen orbs and things like that, but I'm more of a feeler and a healer rather than a visual. So yeah, I mean, I've known, what do they call them? Like shadow people, whatever, like the dark figures you will see. I'm trying to think. And I can't even remember where I was the other day. Oh, it was here where I'm staying. It was here. I have so much going on. It's like, where was I? Okay, it was here where I'm staying, and I was sitting on the couch just watching TV, and I felt like somebody just kind of like looked around the doorway, and I'm like, and I know I saw it, but there was really nothing there. It was just like the dark shadow, nothing mean or malicious or anything like that, And when I was younger, I was more fearful, but I've learned that you don't really need to be fearful, and if you protect yourself, you're good. So
perfect.
Cool.
Exactly.
Oh my God! Can you look at that time already?
I know.
Jeez.
That's pretty.
Can you believe
Wow.
They're fast.
So-
They went
yes,
fast.
it went really fast.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, we'll have to have you back.
I'd love to
Yeah,
come back.
Bill,
Anytime.
Yeah, because this was fun. Maybe you can bring your wife in too.
Yeah, certainly try. Definitely.
Or your
She's-
boys.
My boys look, they would love to come on. Definitely.
There you go. There you go.
No, thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Oh no, thank
so
you.
much.
I mean,
So
it's
Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, Kerry. And
Yeah,
I hope
same.
your house gets all fixed up.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gary. We're
We
gonna
all
send.
wish that.
I'm sending some good vibes your way, my friend. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to go to Australia. I just want to live there for however long it takes for me to catch the accent and then come home.
Come on over.
It probably doesn't take long. It's probably like a southern accent. Probably doesn't take long.
Right.
You'll get the lingo. We'll say you get the lingo.
Right.
I would love it. Forget it. That'd be great. I'd love it. But
you're-
I've always wanted to go there too. So
Come on over and we'll look after you. No worries.
awesome. Cool.
Any
All
of it.
right, guys. All right,
Said
so
I
guys.
just moved and my old place was very haunted, but knock on wood, so far my new place is good. I put up a protection grid with crystals, and I'm more careful now about grounding and protection prayers before and after. Very good. And Barry says, Bill, you'll have to come back here.
I would love to, mate. I would love to.
Yes.
Thank
And Barry
you.
also says, I wish you the best, Carrie, on your house.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on here.
You won the contest.
Yes, it's
I
so
know.
fun. I'm so excited.
And it was
for you.
all from that silly monkey dish, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you. It was very nice to meet all of you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you too.
Bob
It was
says,
awesome.
thank you, Cindy and Ted. I really enjoyed the show as always. Nice hearing from Carrie and Bill as well.
Thank you. It was great fun. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Let's
I learned a lot.
Oh, Robert says, we'll culturify ya. That's right.
right.
You guys can definitely culturify us.
All right.
Awesome.
Kano's Australian, and I just got done watching Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yes,
We're
I
not,
did too.
we're not all bad guys, but
I just love the accent.
Kano is awesome.
I'm good with it. I'm good
Yeah,
with
we
it.
can't
So
talk about what happened though.
yeah.
Some people might not know.
Yeah. All right, so guys, we have had concludes another episode of Paratalk Radio. That was number 215, I think.
That's
just
amazing.
Just from here,
well done.
yeah. Well, we started
Awesome.
out on Mixler and then moved to Spreaker, so there's at least a year over there. So I haven't even counted those. So we're well over 500 and I don't know, 20, 30, 40, whatever. But 5.5 years, long time for a podcast that went to the podcast,
right.
now to video.
For paranormal podcast, even.
Yeah, paranormal. It's a long time.
It is.
But
You've done
you
a
guys
great
know
job,
that.
Patty Poo Poo.
Oh, well, thank you, Cindy Poo Poo. So we enjoy what we do here, and we try to educate as well as have fun and make you guys laugh and smile, because you know what, the world's full of negative shit, and
that's right.
We don't want to add to it. We want to bring a smile, and we want to no nonsense bull. We want to tell you exactly what's out there and what we believe, because I think we need the truth more than we do the lies.
Love it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, Cindy, what you got coming up? Because we need to get out of here.
I have Tarot Tuesday tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is only on YouTube. It is through PBDC TV on YouTube, and also The Psychic Cindy on YouTube. So you can go right to my YouTube, The Psychic Cindy, and you'll find me there live. And then on Thursday, it is Just Cindy, the podcast, here on WLFEDB.com, where I will be live at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's your subject? I love you, Poo Poo.
I love you too. So this is the thing, is a lot of times I really don't know what I'm talking about until the day of. And sometimes the fun part is, and sometimes I have my friends call me and say, Cindy, Spirit already talked to me. This is what your subject is. This is what we're doing. Okay. Perfect. Is that crazy? I mean, I have my friends that come in on my show too, and they're like, this is what we're talking about. Okay. I got it.
All right, that's awesome. I got to pick on her. That's what we do. That's what we do here. So, okay, guys. So
Taco Tuesday. That's what Teddy calls it. Taco Tuesday instead of tiramisu.
For me, Saturday is the big day because it is the first. I actually am officiating a wedding in the afternoon at 1:30, and then I am. Thank you. And then I am going to be at 8 o'clock that night. We'll be on WLFE-DB.com and, of course, here on the Facebook network page doing the Mortal Kombat review. I believe we're also going to talk about Godzilla versus Kong because that has officially become the #1 movie across the board with $320 or $330 million so far, especially in a pandemic situation. So it surpassed every hope that they would want with it. So for anybody that's in the kaiju mood or in the kaiju area that loves Godzilla and all those creatures, there's going to be some more movies.
Yeah,
they made that kind of money. You know, there's going to be more.
Oh
movies.
yeah.
Right.
Also, we'll be reviewing the new Conjuring movie is coming out, and
I've heard that.
The movie Nobody, and there's just so many new movies coming out that we will be checking out. So make sure that is going to be the first Saturday of every month, right here on WLFE-DB.com. Cindy,
that's right.
Are you ready?
I am. Wait. Everybody, go watch Dom, Real Talk with Dom on WLFE-DB.com. He's live right now.
Yep, because we ran over.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Sure.
So are you Ted? Are you in charge of all of these different shows, or?
I do it all.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so Jade DeVere.
Yeah.
Inside the drag closet.
Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
I actually brought Jade's show to the network.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I know Jade. Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's a small world.
Jade is cool.
Yeah. We love Jade. She's awesome.
Yes, we do.
Me too.
Yeah, she's awesome. All right, Cindy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Folks.
Thanks again, you guys, for being here.
Thank
Terry,
you.
Bill, thank you so much. You guys.
Bill, we'll get a hold of you and we'll get you back on here, Bill.
Anytime, guys.
Terry, anytime. Reach out. If you want to pop on anytime in any show, let us know ahead of time.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So, Cindy.
Ready? I'm ready, honey.
All right. Folks, wherever there is darkness, there is always
the
light.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.